The fear of missing out. Many have experienced that feeling over the years in the cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin included. Institutional investors, big money, potentially now experiencing that exact feeling. All the while, I've spotted something really interesting on the macro charts that lend a hint that suggests that Bitcoin is getting ready for that next leg up to all time high. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming by today. So I actually, it's pretty obvious what's on the macro chart. I want to talk about it. It's potentially a perfect setup for bullish continuation. And I just want to underline very briefly with, what we're going to talk about in the technicals and the continuation of the bull market, just all of this stuff we're seeing in the headlines today. Goldman Sachs says FOMO is driving institutional investors to Bitcoin. This was a couple of days ago. You might have seen it. There's no doubt that fear of missing out is playing a role given how much Bitcoin and other crypto assets have appreciated, how many interested parties of all flavors have jumped into this space. Liquidity has increased in the crypto market. The analyst said it's still difficult for institutions to gain access to the market, which remains quite fragmented. I'll put a link in the description. The article goes on, but it goes on to suggest that even so, that fear of missing out, the urgency of institutional investors coming into Bitcoin, it has not even really begun just yet. So I'm going to put a link into that. This story, Fidelity Bitcoin Fund attracts 102 million in first 9 months. That just came out yesterday. And then, this, most recently, billionaire Carl Icahn eyes potential 1.5 billion crypto investments. It is kind of just beginning, the big money, and still we sit as a cryptocurrency market as a whole under $2 trillion. On the macro, on the zoomed out, whether the bull market ends today or we continue to 150,000, as a whole, this is just beginning. This is just starting. But we can start talking about that. We have all that context, the bullish context of, big money coming in, continuing to come in for potentially the remainder of this bull market. But what does it look like on the charts right now? If you've been watching my YouTube channel, you know that I talk about all of the time in context to Bitcoin cycles, the macro Fibonacci, and it's just a Fibonacci retracement. It's a resistance area surrounding the bull market to bear market cycle. So this is the bull market high of 2017 to the bear market low in 2018. Many of you were here all through it. And we talk about, and we talked about it going into this Fibonacci resistance, this green channel. We talked about the bull market doors. This is the bull market doors. It's bull market entry. And it happened. And quite powerfully, Bitcoin entered, right? And we've discussed this so much on this channel. And it really has played out very nicely. Now, the same exact type of move happened in the last cycle. That bull market high to bear market low in 2014, all the way up to the bull market doors. Bitcoin struggled a bit, and then boom, we entered the bull market. Now, time frame wise, Bitcoin is kind of similar to right here, almost 400 days or so post the halving of 2016, and same type of timeline post 2020 halving. This is where we are. The historical data suggests in terms of Bitcoin cycles, and this really has a lot to do with the supply and demand factor of Bitcoin, the diminishing supply factor. We are right in the middle of this bull market. And now this was kind of obvious on the screen. I don't know why I didn't really even realize it before, because we talk about this area so often, is in these Fibonacci's, we have the 1618 higher high area. So the higher high area in this last cycle coming through that bull market door area to the 1618 was right around $1,700 or so. We made the run up right through it very nicely. And boom, Bitcoin in this dip of 2017 retraced right around the 1618 area before continuation. Now, we've been really monitoring the comparison between this dip in 2017 to this dip right now. Time frame wise, it is very much the same. And if we look at our Fibonacci, very simple, we have a 1618 retracement for support. We cruised through it back in January. just months after entering the bull market. And here we are retracing to the 1618. Such a similar move of what happened back here in July of 2017. And I think it's worth noting that it really is worth paying attention to that. And you can just see, I mean, we can take that swing high to that 1618, right? Right here, that retrace to all-time high. And we can chart it and we can just look on this zoomed out macro what the move could potentially look like for Bitcoin. And you can adjust this obviously, but look at this. And the volatility of it, the aggressiveness of it, the bullishness of it would likely slow down. But you can see it could be the perfect setup. This is the next move that many people are anticipating for Bitcoin. And we can slow this down. It's very dramatic, the parabolicness of it. But this could potentially be the setup. And this could be the story of Bitcoin continuing to the bull market right off of the 1618 line, exactly what it did back here in 2017. I'd really be interested from a social perspective to go on social media, Reddit, Twitter, all of these areas, all these sites, and look at what market was doing, what they were calling for right here, touching the 1618 of that macro cycle comparative to right here. You see the setup is the same. We got a pretty quick explosive move back off of that area. It took around a week, and we're kind of there now. So on the short term, we do want to see Bitcoin make a move to the upside, and that's when we start digging in and we start looking at Bitcoin. This is the move it needs to make. We've gotten the short term bottom it is in, and we're looking for Bitcoin to approach this midterm Fibonacci resistance. It's this high to low up to this area. This is kind of that bullish reversal that we're waiting for. And Bitcoin has a ways to go. This is the $48,000 to $53,000 area. You know, we talked about it in last night's video. That $48,000 area or so on the weekly chart is the 20-week moving average. It's where we need to see Bitcoin get back above. So that's the move Bitcoin needs to make. And it all starts here. I mean, the story, you know, we're zoomed all out. We're looking, we're comparing to 2017 retracement that Bitcoin had, like the 40% drop comparative to what we just saw now. And we start zooming in and we're just like, we're in it. Like, this needs to happen, this bounce. Otherwise, we'll do a completely opposite move of what happens in that really nice bounce. And let me just zoom out on the weekly. In this really nice bounce, we'll do a complete opposite move, right? And, you know, that will lend a hand to the bears very much. But it all starts here, zoomed in. We zoom in on the 6 hour, and we are literally right now in this hour in the resistance. I mean, this is the very short-term resistance Bitcoin needs to get out of, at the very least, up to around $40,300 at the 786 line. You can see for days now, 3 days, Bitcoin has been testing this Fibonacci resistance. And all it is this last little swing high to the swing low, that little last capitulation area, people freaking out. You might remember just days ago, and we are here with an inverse head and shoulders, basically set up perfectly for Bitcoin to explode to the upside, to test the midterm resistance. This is the move we need to see. This is the move we're waiting to see, because, you know, this is the move that separates itself from bear market entry, from seeing what we did see at the beginning of the last bear market. We don't want to see that. We need to see divergence away from what happened here. And what happened here is that just resistance at the 50-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, and, you know, going to the daily chart now, those two areas are right in the middle of this Fibonacci resistance. Bitcoin needs to make that explosive move back above, and we need to see support above for continuation of the bull markets. And then we can start really talking about, well, what is this going to look like when we have this huge money coming into Bitcoin? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about right now, because we are obviously tracking this short-term resistance. It's like, it's really making us, Bitcoin's really making us be patient right now. But at the end of the day, we have a really macro bullish setup for Bitcoin to continue to the upside right now, with that fear of missing out feeling being experienced likely by a lot of big money. The case is there for Bitcoin to continue. The question is, will the bull step in and make it so? Appreciate you cruising by on this Bitcoin video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Hit that like button. Are we going up? Are we going down from here? Hit that subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.